What are you expecting? Obviously, a lot of unknowns.
Yeah, there is a lot of unknowns, but I think what's important is if you look at what SolarCity just reported, they reported earnings today. If you look at what their sales were, 1/4 of their sales were to commercial and industrial, the commercial and industrial sector. And if you look at what they're representing as their price at $3, we know that commercial and industrial prices are about 30 to 50% below what SolarCity is representing. So the point is, we know that if you apply that to the SG&A and spread that across proportionally to their ASP, there's no way their production costs are as low as what they're guiding, and that would mean they actually missed on megawatts deployed. So we think that's a bit misleading. In addition to that, they increased the years effectively that their systems are being depreciated over, which effectively lowered their depreciation costs and helped them beat on the EPS line. So the point is, we think those are two items that are somewhat elusive, if you will, for investors. Now, with respect to whether the deal closes or not, there's a new fold. Clearly, Donald Trump does not support solar. And given what happened with the solar stocks today, and also reports today from SunPower and SolarEdge, it looks like there could be some risk to this deal actually closing.
Now, Trump has basically denied the gravity of climate change going all the way back to 2012, a much talked about tweet he sent then. The concept of global warming was created by and for the Chinese in order to make U.S. manufacturing non-competitive. He later wheeled that back, said he was joking. However, he has certainly made it clear that he doesn't believe it's a real problem. What does that actually mean for, not just solar companies, but wind companies, for even electric car companies like Tesla?
I think it's quite negative. I mean, if you think about it, Hillary Clinton had a very aggressive plan to implement specifically solar photovoltaic technology. She was looking to ramp installations up roughly from 9 to 10 gigawatts this year to 25 gigawatts annually through 2021. Now that's off the table. Keep in mind, the Chinese have ramped significant capacity outside of China. So tariffs, even on product imported into the United States directly from China, aren't working. So if you have weak demand in the U.S., you have weakness in demand, we think, in China and Japan, we think it's going to have a very negative impact on prices here in the United States. If you're a Tesla shareholder, you got to ask yourself at this point, are you willing to vote for this deal? Because there has been a significant change overnight in the overall chemistry of this deal coming to pass, rather.
As Keith Raboy was leaving, I asked him what his thoughts were on the future of clean tech. Of course, Khosla Ventures has invested in a number of clean tech initiatives, some successful, some not successful. He said he doesn't think that clean technologies necessarily need government subsidies anymore. Do you agree with that? And who would invest in these technologies, or even invest in building these technologies, if they didn't think the government was going to support them?
I strongly disagree. I mean, we can look at multiple instances: Germany, Spain, Italy, France. When you take away the incentives, installations fall not by 10%, but you're talking 90 to 80% drops in installations. Without the ITC, the investment tax credit in the United States, which, by the way, has support in both the House and Senate, which, by the way, as you know, the Republicans now control, to be essentially the extension to be scaled back. Without that ITC, you're going to get a significant drop in installations in the United States. In fact, we saw this in Arizona. Arizona basically cut their support for net metering, and SolarCity and Sunrun completely left the state. So to say without incentives solar can stand on its own, that's not true. And clearly, we believe that's not true. And clearly, with the Republicans in control, we believe incentives are going to be scaled back, potentially aggressively, and that can't be good for solar stocks.